Hey everyone, and welcome back to The Explainer. I am absolutely thrilled to have you here today because we've got a really focused core mission. If you're gearing up for the Snowflake COF-C03 exam, this is absolutely crucial. We're going to master the art of debugging Snowpark runtime boundaries. Seriously, if you've ever felt like your logic is literally perfect, but the platform is just fighting you every step of the way, well, this is exactly what you need.
Okay, let's dive right into this. I want you to picture the ultimate developer crime scene. You've written flawless Python code, it's beautiful, you've tested the logic, you can even run a simple select statement on your target governed table and boom, see the data perfectly. But the moment you actually invoke your Snowpark procedure, it flat out fails. No way, right? What is going on here? Why does perfect code suddenly break when it's deployed? Well, the answer lies in a major paradigm shift, and honestly, the exam makers love to test this. Ready? Data privilege does not equal code runtime dependency. Actually, let me say that one more time. Data privilege does not equal code runtime dependency. Having the right to look at the data is really only half the battle. Snowflake evaluates strict execution boundaries. We're talking session context, dependencies, available compute, not just table access. So here's our troubleshooting roadmap for today. First, the Snowpark exam trap. Second, Snowflake session context. Third, stored procedure metadata. Fourth, packages and stage imports. And finally, beating the COF-C03 scenario. Let's get into it. All right, part one, the Snowpark exam trap, going beyond basic Python. So the test makers, they're actively trying to trick you into thinking like a local Python developer instead of a Snowflake engineer. Think about a local notebook. You're hyper-focused on Python syntax and your laptop's memory, right? If it compiles, it runs. Easy. But a Snowpark session is a completely different beast. It is strictly governed by your active role, your assigned warehouse compute resources, and your specific database and schema namespace. Just having correct code syntax isn't going to cut it when you're deploying to govern data. We really have to remember that Snowpark isn't some external ETL tool that pulls data down into your local notebook. It lets you write your data transformations in Python, Java, or Scala, but the absolute game changer is that Snowflake executes all of this work directly inside the platform, right there next to the governed data. So it relies entirely on the Snowflake session to dictate the rules of the game. Moving right along to Section 2, Snowflake Session Context, the who, what, and where. Look, before you even think about touching your business logic, you have to prove your context. On the exam, you need a systematic, step-by-step debugging path to weed out the false suspects. So, step 1, prove the session context. This rules out using the wrong role or namespace. Step 2, inspect the procedure metadata to see if the runtime object even exists where you think it does. And step 3, check those stage imports and errors so you can actually tell the difference between a privilege failure and a dependency failure. We absolutely have to drive home this golden rule. Do not assume you have warehouse availability or the right namespace context just because you have data access. Having select privileges on a target table, totally useless if your session lacks the right active role, warehouse, database, or schema. If your code connects but runs against the wrong role or a suspended warehouse, it's gonna fail. Every time. So the crucial point is knowing exactly how to prove this context. You've got to use the precise operational command. Select current role, current warehouse, current database, and current schema. Running this instantly verifies that your invocation context actually matches up with the deployed object location and your compute expectations. Always, always check this first. Okay, Section 3, Stored Procedure Metadata. Verifying the one-time object. Once we've nailed down that our session context is correct, we need to verify the actual deployed runtime object itself. A stored procedure or a UDF is a deployed runtime object. It is not just a script. It requires very specific handlers, packages, and language configurations to run successfully. Your Python code handler? That's really just a tiny piece of a massive metadata chain that Snowflake is evaluating. If the runtime language isn't supported or the handler is missing, boom, it fails at runtime. Let's move to how this builds into your troubleshooting toolkit. You'll want to use the command show procedures like procedure name in schemadb.schema. This checks if the runtime object even exists in the namespace you're invoking. It basically proves it's executable with the intended language and runtime metadata. Which brings us to Section 4, Packages and Stage Imports, Finding the Missing Pieces. So what exactly is a stage import when we talk about Snowpark? Well, it's a code or file dependency location that your procedure absolutely needs. It's stored on an internal or external stage path. You really need to separate this idea from standard batch data loading. We are not talking about ingesting a CSV file into a table here. This is about your procedure needing an external library or a specific configuration file just to execute its basic logic.
When we dive into these dependencies, we uncover the most common silent failures. It's wild. Your code might compile perfectly, but it drops dead at runtime. Why? Because of missing package dependencies, unreferenced stage imports, a lack of read or usage privileges on the stage where those dependencies live, or just plain unavailable warehouse compute. Remember, these are deployment boundary problems, not data frame syntax problems.
To completely rule out these silent killers, here is the exact command you need in your back pocket. List at stagename/path. By running this, you are verifying that your required files or imports actually exist and are totally visible to your active role. Because if those files aren't there or your role can't see them, your Snowpark procedure is definitely not going to run. All right, final stretch. Section 5, beating the COF-C03 scenario, the ultimate test.
We've gathered all our evidence, so let's put this detective framework to work. Here's a scenario straight out of the exam's playbook. A developer's Snowpark Python procedure exists. The active role can currently query and select from the target table, but calls fail after deployment with package-related errors. What should be inspected first? Notice the trap here? The exam explicitly tells you the developer already has select privileges. They're totally baiting you to see if you get distracted by data access.
Let's look at our options and apply that rule-out framing we talked about. Is it A, the procedure, runtime metadata, and packages? B, provider grants on a secure share? C, the time travel retention period? Or D, the copy file format?
It's gotta be option A, right? It's the only logical answer because the data privilege is already proven. The failure is happening in the procedure runtime and dependency boundary. Option B is just a distractor for cross-account data sharing. Option C controls historical recovery, which has nothing to do with package resolution. And D affects batch loading parsers, completely irrelevant to a local procedure execution error. Once you identify that execution boundary, all those distractors just fall apart. And this brilliantly illustrates the core atomic takeaway I really want you to remember for this exam. Separate data privilege from code runtime dependency. If you can instantly mentally separate a table access issue from a session context or package dependency issue, you are going to navigate these Snowpark questions with absolute confidence.
So I'll leave you with this final provocative thought to test your memory. If your select query works flawlessly, but your Snowpark code just drops dead, which execution boundary in our troubleshooting funnel did you forget to verify? Was it your active role, your warehouse, procedure metadata, or maybe a stage import? Keep that checklist mental and you'll do amazing. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer. Keep up the great learning, and I'll catch you next time.